Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Micah just checking in to do a video update as far as my progress towards transitioning into a building phase. I was typically just uploading a lot of my workouts, what I've been doing in these past few weeks, but wanted to take some time to check in with my macros, how my workouts are going, some things, to be aware of, as far as upcoming, where I'm kind of leading towards for our next step. But currently, my macros, I'm doing ranges rather than a particular number for each day. This way it allows more flexibility. Plus, it's it's not contest prep time, and it's not going to deter my progress because the ranges aren't so extreme that I'm not going to be able to track progress. And I've noticed that with each coming off with each contest prep, it doesn't matter how slow or how aggressive I go with calories and in putting, actually trying to figure out what my new maintenance is that I always get back to my happy weight, 160 to 165. I literally don't have to do very much at all. I could have an off week, a really good week. It doesn't matter. I literally will go to 160 to 165. My body just is so happy there. And typically it's like 12 to 14% body fat that I can sit around and feel pretty happy, like feel normal, feel like I got the proper functionality that I need to go out throughout, not just my workouts, but just throughout my day. If I sit under 10%, I start getting irritable. My body feels it. I just don't feel right. And so, until I get to that point, it I I just don't feel 100% there. And so, I started off with my first week off of contest prep and just went back to refeed macros, and my body was still, feeling good, and it was just soaking up those calories like nobody's business. So I increased it again. And so after a few days, I would just, after a few days I would adjust. And I finally got to where my maintenance was, and I wasn't gaining, I wasn't losing any weight. And now it's about a surplus of calories. And I'm gonna make one misnomer, is that it's not just necessarily having a surplus of calories that's gonna help with automatically you're going to feel like 100% better. And for me, it typically takes about 6 to 8 weeks before I start feeling normal. And which means, yeah, I'm feeling good, I have energy, like I can go throughout my day and I can get my workouts done. I'm making some good strength gains. I'm noticing some muscular development and just feeling really good. But at the same time, I know that with with my hormones get kind of screwed up when you're contest prepping. And you're a lot of metabolic hormones, T3, T4, things just, your body adapts to these situations as it becomes, as you're lowering body fat, as you're lowering calories, as you're increasing activity, increasing cardio, your body adapts, and just it adapts to the situation. And its whole purpose is to sustain homeostasis, and at the same time it knows where it's really happy, and it's just going to take some time to get there. And hopefully that makes sense to you as far as for me particularly, like libido and just testosterone overall, like I just don't feel normal yet. And like I said, it generally takes 6 to 8 weeks before I start feeling good about where I'm at. And so, I'm kind of pushing along. I am making some good progress with my macros. I will have to start diving into other approaches, as far as how I'm going to increase it, because last year when I was trying to increase calories, I was just getting full. I was full all the time. And some people, when they ask me like, how many calories are you intaking, I tell them, and they were like, oh man, I wish I could eat that much more food. like you, and for me, I don't typically like to eat a lot of food. I, I like to feel satisfied, but I don't like feeling full throughout the whole course of the day. And, I had looking ahead that I have a year and a half of building and really trying to maximize my efforts so I can bring something different to the stage the next time I step on stage in 2017. I'm going to have to eat. And so I am thinking about doing a refeed Saturday or a refeed day once a week so that my total calories for the week is, in a surplus. Um, and or I know last year what I did was I did a, high calorie month. Um, and then I went back down to like 500 calories the next month. And that just helped out with the hunger thing. Like I was able to, actually eat the food and not feel like I was full all the time. And just even scheduling too. I have meetings throughout the course of each day, and so it's hard for me to just like stuff my face in all these meetings and try to get all my calories in. And so I'm just trying to figure out what approach is going to be best for me to get the calories I need to make, the growth that to support the workouts that I'm putting through, and to make some proper gains. So probably in my next video, I'll probably have more of a plan of how I'm going to do that. I would say today is Saturday, so I'm actually going to bump up my macros, just kind of treat it like a refeed day and see how my body responds. So I am going to try and target so about 600, maybe 650 gram carb, and go to 100 to 110 gram fat. Keep my protein about the same. And that's another thing to consider too, is that there's so much emphasis on how much protein you need, on season, off season. And for me particularly, in my opinion, if the other macros are high, you're not in a deficit, you're in a surplus, like an extreme surplus, you don't need as much protein, because that protein is going to be, it doesn't have to do multifunctions. When you're a calorie deficit, your protein sources are going to probably support a lot more throughout the process of that prep, as you're taking away carbs and fats from your calorie load. So as far as the workouts are concerned, I'm still riding high with my power hypertrophy adaptive training protocol. So I'm doing a little twist to it. I'm doing Monday and Tuesday, upper body day is on Monday, lower body is on Tuesday. I'm doing a 5x5 approach, all the compound movements, 5x5. And I'm loving that because I'm maximizing my strength. I'm actually noticing some good increases as far as my strength is concerned. And I definitely am focusing on full range of motion, and getting the proper mind muscle connection while I'm doing these lifts. And then I do a little bit of auxiliary work, but nothing too crazy, just to help out with supporting what I'm doing with the compounds. Outside of that, Wednesday through Saturday, I'm doing my typical bodybuilding split. Nothing too crazy. I'm keeping it pretty basic, and I'm just keeping it high volume on those days. And some people may think that high volume just means high reps. You're going to do 12 to 20, or you're going to do 20 to 30 reps. But for me, I don't necessarily count reps per se. I count, I may do some drop sets, supersets. I may do some, bisets, trisets, things that are just going to help maximize the blood flow throughout the course of the workout. And I don't count reps per se. I may have like a number in mind, but honestly, if I can push out a couple more reps, I'm going to do it, just to help out with doing that. I think some people get so fixated on a rep range that they lose sight to what they're actually trying to do. Are you trying to fatigue the muscle? Are you trying to, just hit the rep ranges? Like, you want to be able to feel the muscle group that you're trying to work. And if you're not doing that, if the weight is too light, if the weight is, say you hit the rep range 12 to 20, did you actually put in the amount of effort that it's going to take to hit hypertrophy? Or is it going to take the amount muscle protein synthesis to begin that process? So don't get so wrapped up on the rep ranges. It's good to have goals, but honestly, like, just go off a feel once you kind of get an idea on how your body responds when it comes to volume. And volume doesn't necessarily mean reps. It could mean how many sets are you doing with the amount of weight, how much poundage are you lifting for that particular movement within your workout, and or throughout the course of the week as well. And so everything is going according to plan. I may dive back into German volume training 10 by 10 because I did have some really good progress there as far as strength and muscular development. And I'm really trying to take it to heart to what the judges told me about, building up my chest and building up my shoulders. And, that's something I'm definitely taking to heart as far as how I'm structuring my program throughout the course of the week. Gives me some focus areas. And like I said, in my transitioning from a contest prep to building phase, is that you want to take some focuses. You want to be able to know how to measure progress in your building phase, because in a contest prep, it's so easy to measure progress in different angles. And plus you have an end goal coming up of stepping on that stage or multiple stages. So with the building phase, you want to have some set points, you want to have some progression measurements so that you can continue to see that. And plus it's going to help out with motivation and continue to stay focused. Although you may be looking at other areas of life to improve on throughout that building phase, it still keeps that mind fresh of where you really want to be to bring it full circle with your progression. And so that's where I'm currently at with everything as far as that's concerned. If there's any questions, any comments, definitely leave them in below, and I'll definitely address them. I appreciate all your input. I appreciate all the support that you've given me throughout my contest prep. And now that I'm transitioning into a building phase, I actually am definitely going to need some more support, because keeping focus for another year and a half of just pure building and not necessarily having a set date of when I'm going to compete again, and that kind of can play around with your mind a little bit. But I may dive into coaching other people for contest preps, or basically if they want to reach some goals with weight loss, body fat loss. I'm not sure yet. I do have the capacity, the time to do so now that I'm not focusing so much on a prep, but I'm excited. I actually got that rolling with like a spreadsheet with all the calculations on how to approach it, how to get people started on that progression. So definitely hopeful that I can definitely support other people in achieving their goals, because that's something that I really enjoy doing as an offside thing. When I'm contest prepping, people will ask me things, general questions, and I'll answer them, and it just makes me happy to share with people that are really wanting to develop in their own personal journeys. But other than that, like I said, if there's any questions or comments, please leave them below and I'll address them. But thanks for all your support, and we'll see you in the next update. Bye-bye.